Access to doctors to get this procedure done legally by trained professionals is why the Roe decision 40 years ago was important to American women in practical terms. The legacy of Roe is not that there became a country named America in which there was abortion and there hadn't been abortion before. The legacy of Roe is that women very, very, very rarely die from abortion in this country anymore, and they used to die from it a lot. So what does it mean that that legacy, women's access to real doctors who do this procedure safely, is being so successfully eroded by anti-abortion lawmakers in the states and the activists who are threatening providers? What does it mean for year 41 of this constitutionally protected right in America and beyond? Joining us now is the president of NARAL Pro-Choice America, Nancy Keenan. Nancy, thanks very much for your time tonight. It's nice to have you here.
Great to be back, Rachel. Thanks.
Is it more difficult for American women to access abortion today than it was in the 70s after Roe v. Wade was decided?
I think so, and I think it's no longer about the legality, which was the battle of Roe, the making abortion legal in this country. It has now become a debate and a fight around access. And as you heard from those wonderful folks that are providing the care, how difficult it is for women to travel great distances, to be read a script by the government, to be told to have a procedure like a mandatory ultrasound that is neither medically needed nor does she want it. This is the most extreme pressure on women, that the ultimate decision is not with her. It is with a politician here in Washington, D.C., or in the case out there in the states, in those state capitals, where these folks are cruel, they are intimidating women, and their ultimate goal is to deny that care to women across this country.
How good is the pro-choice movement, your side of the movement? How good is your side at fighting fights in the states versus fighting fights nationally? I think nationally we, in broad terms, still tend to think of the abortion fight as the Roe fight, as a Supreme Court fight. But as you're saying, it really does, the rubber hits the road in the states, and that's where most of the politics happens.
Well, we've had some wins. And when you think about the personhood amendment in Mississippi, that the people, when they had that vote at the ballot box, they rejected that extreme measure. In South Dakota, there were 2 times that we fought outright bans on abortion. And the people said no when they had the chance to talk across the fence and down at the school and in their own churches. When they had a chance to talk about it and say, no, this is too extreme and we reject it, we have won those battles. Where we have not won the battles are when legislators are elected. It's kind of the bait and switch. They don't run on this issue. They run on jobs or the economy. And then once they get there, we see this war on women. And we see that their whole intent is to deny women this care and letting women, their doctors, their families make the decision. It is unbelievable that we have so many anti-choice legislators. And I think what the American public has to do is when they show up at your door, ask them, do they protect freedom and privacy in letting women make the decision, or do they want politicians to make it? And that's the million-dollar question. Who gets to decide? Politicians or women in her family?
We've talked a number of times, you and I, Nancy, on this show about overall strategy, about the connection of this, the issue politics of this as an issue and how it relates to electoral politics between the two parties. I know you are stepping down from NARAL very soon. Your successor has already been named. What would you tell the movement that you've been a part of? What would you tell the abortion rights movement in this country as a sort of exit interview? What do you think is the most important strategic thing for the movement to focus on moving forward?
That we have an enormous opportunity in this next generation. They share our pro-choice values. They're the millennials. They are 76 million strong in this country. And by 2020, they're going to be 40% of the voting population. They will have enormous political power, either running themselves or helping candidates run. And the fact is, we have to connect, and they have to connect eventually, the personal pro-choice values with political action. And I think for the next, for my predecessor, Elise Hogue, who's going to be fantastic, she has the opportunity now to be that next generation, in the face of that generation, to make sure that we secure this right and maybe actually roll back some of the horrible legislation that has denied women access to this care.
Nancy Keenan, outgoing president of NARAL Pro-Choice America, to be succeeded, as you said, by Elise Hogue, which has just been announced. Congratulations on managing that transition. I know that was a big, important part of why you decided to leave, and we're looking forward to having you back after you've had some time to go fishing and take some time off.
Thanks, Rachel. Talk to you soon.
Thanks.